You're listening to the Life in General podcast with Tom and Jaye. An hour of informative commentary on today's headlines, current events, and what's going on around the world and around the corner. And now, here are your hosts, Tom and Jaye Darden.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Life in General podcast here with Tom and Jaye, coming at you live after I can't talk good. That's what kind of show it's going to be today, folks. It has absolutely been crazy. We've had, luckily, my other half in the studio here has been taking it easy, helping a brother out get his new audio equipment set up, audio visual. Definitely was not a part of the AV club in high school, and it shows. So, something that is super fun there. But we're going to start this episode off the same way we do every time and ask the man of the hour how he is down there in sunny Ecuador. Coming at you live, got the Tennessee flag, the blue power flag coming at you. So, hey, Dad, how are you?
I'm doing very well. We got some upgrades going in the sound system and audio and video, and we're moving on up, and someday there will be.
Yes, someday indeed. It is. It's something where you don't get paid enough. I don't get paid enough to go through the trials and tribulations that it is. But it is definitely a good feeling when you get the finished product. Of course, I say that I'm very closely eyeing. If you see my eye shifting over there to the right or left, depending on where you are at in the world or on the screen, I'm making sure everything is still flowing good for us, because we don't want to have anything go wrong with any of our stuff we just got set up. So
you're a shifty guy, man.
Oh yeah, that is most certainly it. The shift is strong with this one. So
that's right.
Most certainly crazy. Just got a new laptop, so that's kind of what's going on. And to all of my lovely brothers and sisters out there who are Mac users, I feel your pain. And granted, it's a very powerful system, albeit one that you would assume it's easier because it's almost like a speak and spell in terms of the complication it is with everything being one button click, etc. And
right.
No, it just means that people don't like you because you can't function the same way that everyone else can with a regular point and click, or as it used to be very envious for, right clicking. Because everything on a Mac does not have a right click. And of course, I'm being facetious. It does have a right click option, but hey, the joke wouldn't work unless I dissected it, just like the frog in
that's right.
What they did in biology class. So we had a couple. We had a ton of show notes here that we're just going to start going through because it is in that late hour that some crazy things are happening.
That's right.
And I mean,
that's right.
It is wild indeed. And I actually have in my industry, of course, as you all know, this is episode, 42 going out. So it's going to be something where if you're new here, welcome. If you are been with us for a while, you'll know I'm in the logistics business, and so was Tom over there on the other side of the globe now. He used to be a truck driver. I'm currently a customs licensed broker. I do not have any business cards, so please don't ask. And we have been watching the world. It's definitely going by, and things are changing. Well, a buddy of mine at work, the reason why I bring up work is you have so many different and wonderful people out in this world, where one of my coworkers today said, hey, the Dems doing this and that and the other, which if you knew this person, you would think, oh yeah, no, that's exactly how he's going to act. And then they had, just on the other end, one of our other lovely folks who works with us said, truckers, get off that border, like, quit being stupid and whatnot. So very interesting stuff there coming from all directions. And we recently got some new business where we deal with a lot of trucks. And that's what brought that up. They conflated, we had a lot of business with thinking that people are shifting around and doing all this. And it's like, no. actually one of our competitors got kind of wiped out a little bit there. So kind of crazy. Yeah. Hey,
shucks.
I wouldn't wish it on anybody, man. It's changing out there. The world and the threats we're facing evolve daily, and it is wild. But my buddy also, who was talking about the Dems and their lovely policies, etc., was talking about. He asked me, "Hey, have you seen the Ukraine and Russia situation?" And this is one of the smartest people that I know. And they asked me, "Do you know what sanctions are?" Basically, and I told him. Let me look that up real fast because it sounds like I should know what this is. And so, of course, looking online, of course, sanctions are, to a degree, monetary punitive measures in terms of trade and global economic things that happen. And, of course, that's what people are going to start doing against Russia. And I don't think it's going to be World War III. However, if this is the first domino that falls, then we'll all, figure it out very shortly afterwards. So, but it's been nuts.
You had some sanctions growing up, didn't you?
I was going to say, well, maybe. I don't know.
Monetary.
Yes, indeed. Some punitive measures. Definitely, for sure. Punitive measures because of my invasion of areas I shouldn't go, like vans parked in the backyard. Driving those around when you're 12 and whatnot. So, but yeah, kind of interesting. Have you heard anything else about the Russia-Ukraine situation? Like we actually just watched that. The mouse in my pocket and myself. Just watched them have a little fight on like a Russian or Ukrainian talk show where people are just going at it because somebody supports Putin and supports Russia, and then somebody was talking about Ukraine, and it's just kind of going ham.
That's all over the news, and you don't know what to believe and what not to believe, but Putin's pretty sharp. And, they say, we're going to do sanctions. He doesn't care. He doesn't care what you do, man. He's he's 2 steps ahead of us right now at everything we do, because you got Slow Joe in there. And then you send Swallow Me Harris over to Germany to try to square things away. And she doesn't know whether to wave or salute. And it's just, we import a whole lot of oil and natural gas from Russia.
Yeah, Russia is the third or fourth largest importer of that?
Yeah, you cut your nose off to spite your face. You shut all the pipelines down here and put everybody out of a job, and then you want Russia to give you more or pump more. Mm-hmm. But then you're going to try to tell them don't bother Ukraine. Well, Joe don't want them to bother Ukraine because Ukraine's giving Joe and Hunter millions and millions of dollars over the few years. Wow. The last 10 years or whatever. They've been giving them millions of dollars. Maybe. And you watch it say, if Russia invades Ukraine, which they've already made a move, and if Joe don't help out, you'll see a lot more information come to light about Hunter and Joe and their businesses with Ukraine. You watch and see, because it'll piss them off. And they'll go, oh, well, okay, we'll show you.
So what's that going to do necessarily if they gave off more information coming to light? And the reason why I asked this is because we talked, a while ago about the Hunter laptop situation, this, that, and the other. And if they do bring something else up, whomever they might be, this entity, why would it be any different than the smoking gun, doing this for you, Uncle Bob, the air quotes, smoking gun, that would be anything else? Like, why would it matter in the slightest? Because it could just be brought off as Russian information, which we've heard all about all over the media already, because they thought that was one of the things that happened in the Clinton-Trump runnings, was that Russian disinformation was dissuading people from voting one way or the other, presumably in the way towards Trump and away from Hillary, and possibly even vice versa. I mean, it was interesting to see the amount of information that came out of that, but why would that be any different? now.
This won't be Russian disinformation. This is coming from Ukraine. It's completely separate countries and completely separate entities. And Joe did business and Hunter with Russia, and then they did business with Ukraine. So the Russian information, nobody gives a damn about that. But you'll find, I think, that they will put more info out on the Ukrainian side and they can get into specifics. And I've done the research and read the book and all that kind of stuff. And between China and Russia and Ukraine, the Biden's got millions of dollars, millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
So China's not going to make a move just yet. They're going to wait and see how we act. The thing that scares me about Russia is a cyber attack.
Okay.
The Russian cyber attack as opposed to a ground troop attack. But if we lose one soldier over there in Ukraine, the blood is on Joe's hands. It's on his hands, man, because he started all this bullshit. It's on him. One person.
How did he start it?
And they should impeach his ass if we lose one soldier, especially with the debacle in Afghanistan. That's ridiculous. The stuff he's doing on purpose is ridiculous. But I'll show you. I'll do a comparison of the corruption goes on both sides of the aisle. Okay, it's Democrat and Republican.
Right.
And because on the Republican side, Mitch McConnell, the turtle from Kentucky, his wife, Choi, is from China. She's got huge investments in China, shipbuilding, and imports from China. I mean, it's a gazillion dollars that they've got invested in China in the shipping business.
Oh, okay, sure.
Building ships, the containers, the freight. I mean, it goes deep. Just to show you that Mitch is not as clean as everybody thinks he is.
I don't think. I'm not sure if anybody thinks that old Mitch is clean, because wasn't it Mitch who actually put into play one of the things that has brought money into politics so much, into lobbying and all that? I forget what the actual bill or movement or whatever it was is called, but it was something where he's one of the reasons why politicians are so, I don't want to say rich, but how they get so lucrative so quickly. Because
he needs to go.
Well, a lot of them need to go.
November the 8th, Tuesday, November the 8th, get your ass up and go vote, man. Go vote. Vote them out.
Vote.
Vote them out. And don't do that lesser of two evil stuff. Give somebody else a chance. They might be a screw up, but give them a chance to screw up, because these people that are there now are no good. They're no good.
Well,
and they're lying to your ass every day, man. Every day. Do you think if we'd have called it a shot and not a vaccine, we might not have had as much resistance?
Yes.
Like a flu shot?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do.
COVID shot.
And one of the reasons being is just because people are panicky and dumb and ignorant and scared, or whatever Tommy Lee Jones says in Men in Black. It's where, like, a person can think for themselves, albeit in a good or a bad way, better than the proverbial mob, right? So, and we've talked on this show for a long time now that people, a group normally, are going to tend to stick within their group, and it was something where no matter what it was, somebody was going to get out there and dissuade people from this or dissuade them from that, and it's just, I don't want to say it's a cluster, but it kind of would be a cluster either way. So if someone said, hey, get your COVID shot, a shot and a vaccine, people would just say, oh, well, this, that, and the other, or they would change the definition of vaccine yet again, because we need to be aware now about in the information age, it almost appears as though we are dumber than ever, right? Because we can't distinguish one thing from another. Not to say that the shots that we got are or are not vaccines, but we need to understand kind of what's going on. And then, of course, someone in the comment section or wherever is going to say, well, show me your medical degree. And I'm going to say, okay, no, I will not. But because I most certainly don't have one. But it is something where it's almost like stop, look, and think, right? Now, in the end, because understand this, I most certainly am as boosted as one could be. So it's not that I'm touting, don't do this or don't do that. But one thing to do is don't do things blindly if there's any kind of cautionary tale to come out of that. Because I don't think it's bad. It's just, it is what it is. However, jumping into the proverbial deep end might get you where you don't want to be. Now, granted, it is what it is, but we've talked way too much about those sorts of things. We spoke earlier, or actually on here, you have Mitch being kind of having ties to China and this, that, and the other and whatnot, and then Nancy Pelosi and her husband having ties to China.
Yeah, Mitch's wife has ties to China, and then Nancy Pelosi's husband is connected to China. 80% of their investments are in China.
Okay.
Now in 2008, she was all about boycotting the Olympics and not going and not doing this and that.
Yeah.
Well, then her husband landed a lucrative limo contract with the limo company he has over there to ride the celebrities around and the people in charge. Mm-hmm. And so she changed her tune. It's like, well, we can go, but we need to be careful and all this kind of stuff. And it just goes to show that they're everybody's got something going on behind the scenes, man.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to tell you the whole truth. Vote them out. Vote them out. Man.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I don't
vote them out.
Yeah, the truth is the biggest problem today is getting somebody to tell you the truth. No, I don't know why nobody wants to tell you the truth. So, pretty crazy.
Is it a scenario where it's easier to accept the lie and move on? I don't want to get too much into red pilling because that has been very much stereotyped in the way of just appearing ignorant and goofy and whatever. But it's something where being red pilled or being woken up to something, to whatever way it is, right? Left, right, up, down, center, whatever. That's a harder existence, right? Like it's naturally more volatile than it is to just accept the gentle lie and then move on, right? I mean, it was something where nowadays people are getting more comfortable with lying because, one, we sit behind screens all day long, right? And even in this degree, right? Like, I'm lying about how the room looks because there's the Life in General podcast thing over top of me, right? Something like that. It's something where the shadiness, I don't think, is equivalent to nefariousness, right? Like, I'm not showing you the Life in General podcast, like, comment, subscribe. Smash the like, etc. I'm not doing that to be nefarious. It's just, hey, here's the experience I want the other person to have. Perfect example. You want to talk about lying to people? Look at Instagram. Look at anything somebody takes a photo in. Look at this podcast. It's not as though we look this good all the time, right? No.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Yeah, I know, right? I have the photo of you shirtless with the GoPro on strapped to your head, so you're not fooling anybody. But it's something where people put on the facade all the time. And now it's not inherently bad, but it's just not exactly the truth. So does that make any sense whatsoever about people lying all the time? It's just become commonplace.
Yeah, yeah. Everybody does it. Everybody's doing it, and I don't understand because just telling the truth is so much easier because you can say it one time. You don't have to. You don't have to keep going over and over and over trying to believe it yourself. So, I tell people something one time. If they don't like it, I don't give a damn if you like it or not. I'm not going to keep repeating myself and go over something that
Yeah.
Some of it, but the stuff that they're telling people today, I don't understand. They're destroying America on purpose, and I don't get it. I don't. It's all about power and control for the Democrats or for the administration. They could be independents or Republicans. We've just shown where the Republicans are no good either, and the Dems are no good either. So it could be either side of the aisle. You need to vote them out. But they're all up to some shady shit. But somebody started to referring. They started referring to what's her name? OAC.
AOC. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Her name is Sandy.
Okay.
So they started calling her Sandy Cortez.
Oh, nice.
The other stuff was made up. It's a stage name that she made up.
Okay.
That's like Elizabeth Warren saying that she's an Indian, that kind of bullshit. But she made this up, and this guy keeps calling her Sandy Cortez, and I thought that's good, man. That's great that you finally filtered that out and get off of that all that stuff.
We figured you out now. It's time.
Yes.
Silliness. That's what that is.
And something else is that you're talking about Russia and Ukraine is the pipeline. See, they need that pipeline to go through Ukraine to get to Germany. So they can. Russia's huge producer of oil and natural gas, huge, and of course Joe closed all of our natural energy. We were energy independent. The Keystone Pipeline and the drilling and the stuff that they were doing, they were where they needed to be and getting America where they needed to be. That's why your gas was $2 a gallon or $2.25.
Hey yo,
and now it's almost $4. Yeah, but he closed all that. Now he's begging OPEC over in the Middle East to pump more oil. You watch and see. The prediction is, according to the stock market, is oil will go to $100 a barrel.
Yeah, that like some
very shortly.
What were they saying? It was going to get to like $4 or like between $5 and $7 a gallon near the end of it. And that's something where I very much am like looking at my current state of affairs, where I'm going to work now. I'm getting up. I'm getting out. I'm driving and whatnot.
How dare you?
I've got the setup back in the office, and it's not bad. Like, there's definitely some interesting bits about like walking around, talking to somebody, joking around, eating lunch with a buddy or whatever. And also, training some people, which has been great. There was an issue with a file today, and just walked over to he's like, "Hey, you got time for a call?" And I just walked over to his desk. And I'm, "No, hey, look at this. We are real people. I can just come over here." But if gas gets up to X, X, Y, and Z amounts of gallons, it's like, my setup at home looks pretty good,
Yeah, you'd be carpooling with your buddies.
No, it'd be more like I have this setup here, and no one lives around me anymore. They all moved off to wherever it is that they are, which is, hey, great for them. But something where don't have to buy new tires, or don't have to buy gas, oil as much. And of course, nobody hang me out there. I understand you're supposed to do things based on time, but I do know that usage is also a factor when it comes to car maintenance and clothes and stuff like that. So just it's a cheaper economical existence if I get to live in my hole, the life in general hole, as it were.
Yeah.
So,
and you don't use up all your spare change.
That is exactly right. Something that I did right before going back into the office, there was like a week where I didn't spend any money, because it was just at the house, no ordering out, no doing this, no doing that. And you're looking at the old bank account, and I'm like, this is a lot of money. I need you to save this money. And then, of course, you're out there driving and you go to lunch or you pick up a Coke or do this or that or whatever, and stuff adds up. I mean,
oh yeah,
it's naturally expensive to exist, especially looking at the prices nowadays. I mean, we're not going to go back all the way in your generation where Coke was a nickel or whatever.
Easy
or
now.
10 cents. But I definitely remember when the bag of chips wasn't $5.50 and a 12-pack wasn't $7 and blah, blah, blah. It's...
Right.
It's crazy. I mean, just holy smokes.
Yeah, when you're on the interstate and you want to pass somebody and you hit that gas, you can hear the sucking noise where it's sucking that money right out of your wallet down the tubes, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's something else. Well, and speaking of that too, you wanted to talk about energy prices a little bit, talking about going up and up and up. And I was reading yesterday, I think, one of the very few, hey, it's the Reddit hour. One of the very few Reddit posts that talks about anything resembling my job. And they were talking about how expensive it was to ship something 2.5 years ago versus what it's costing now. And I was surprised by the amount of folks who were saying, hey, let's cause a global crisis, cause directly and not by accident a shortage, and then jack up the prices.
Sure.
And then now when you were at a surplus, now you're at a deficit and there's a shortage, and then now the prices are jacked up. Well, it's not like people are complaining about the prices and about having to get something somewhere, because it's not as though they couldn't do it. Like in this example, it's not as though I can't ship this container of 1,000 computers. It's just going to cost me an arm and a leg. Well, right. Okay, so that means that some stuff doesn't slow down. It just inherently gets more expensive. And to that end,
I told Pat her Christmas presents out there in one of them containers somewhere in the ocean. So
there you go. Yeah, and it's wild because people aren't complaining that they're not getting things. It's just becoming a hell of a lot more expensive. So
right, and they know what they can jack the price up on, and what they can't, what they can get away with and stuff.
Yeah, one of the examples. And I mean, they used to have what was called a general rate increase that happened maybe once or twice a year, depending on how things looked and how the economical landscape was. But now, within 2 or 3 years, they've gone from $2,000 per shipping container for a 20-foot or a TEU to $20,000. And it's something that, here's the problem. You're never going to go backwards, right? The second somebody says, hey, we now have the capability to charge you almost whatever we want, it's just going to be how it is. And something that always comes to mind, listening to people like Crowder and maybe a couple other people where they talk about, well, go start your own YouTube or go start your own Twitter or go start your own thing. Well, for one, they started Parler and that got shut down pretty quickly. And then Rumble is nowhere near the size it needs to be for to even come close to competing with YouTube and Spotify, things like that.
Right.
And it was kind of wild that they... kind of the same thing happened with the whole shipping industry, because somebody brought up, well, just make your own shipping line and then undercut everybody and then just make bukus of money, but you're going to be making enough to where it's going to be a lot, but it's going to be less than everybody else. And somebody said, well, hold up. That does not work, because if you want to make let's say a 20,000 let's be moderate and say like a 12,000, 16,000 TEU ship, so it can hold that many 20-foot container equivalents. Okay. Well, you got to come out of the gate swinging with, for one, having one of those vessels. Two, speaking with whomever is in charge to get waterways and all of your pathing correct, the crews, the maintenance, blah, blah, blah. It would take you so much money and so much time and so much coordination and effort to be a part of said new shipping container line, whomever. It would be almost insanity, because one of those ships takes years to create, right? And it was just interesting to see, or interesting to me to see. I don't want to say ignorance, because it doesn't sound right to call someone ignorant because they don't know that process, because it's a very in-depth process and it's a very nuanced sort of thing. But it's humorous whenever somebody talks about, well, go make your own Facebook or go make your own YouTube or Spotify or Twitter or whatever. And it's something that people have a lot of power in whatever fashion that they have or facets that they have right now, that you're just not going to be able to compete. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
And so if any of those organizations, no matter who it is, are controlling the message, controlling energy, controlling this, why would they relinquish that power? It just seems kind of wild. Like, there'd be no way in hell if I had that. I mean, I'm not perfect, that I would relinquish that. It just seems kind of crazy that someone would even think that people would or people could, and then to try to fight that is just, it's wild. Like, it would drive me crazy wanting to fight that proverbial power all the time and do that sort of thing. So,
yeah, I watch YouTube videos, but they're usually music.
Yeah, there you go.
I try not to get on, because I had no idea that people were actually recording something off of like the TV and then putting it on YouTube.
Yeah, of course.
And it's like, you educated me to that. So now I don't watch a lot of stuff now. Like I said, the music I'll listen to.
Yeah,
because I've got my mix, and I can put the headphones on and just sit and listen to some music. But I've got to where I don't participate in a lot of that stuff. So,
well, that's fair,
because it's all just bullshit. It's all propaganda and it's all lies and stuff. So,
well, and the big thing is it's lies for both sides, and it's about pushing a message. That is what is really kind of dark out there. Is it's
the
something
narrative.
Where, the narrative, whether it be this side, that side, maybe a new side, right? It's something that it's just being pushed because, I mean, we have been divided. Doesn't matter who did it. Doesn't matter how long it's been happening. But there most certainly is a divide. I was thinking about this today. It seems so much all the time that it's them versus me in every regard. Who is them? Them is everyone else but me. Everyone else who doesn't think exactly like me, etc., etc. Right. And
they don't look like you too.
Well,
they're not like you. They don't look like you. They don't.
It's very taxing, right? And so it's taxing on the mind, which leads back to people lie all the time. Well, think about it like this: I'm just going to lie to placate you, so you leave me alone.
Right.
People are left alone if they just tell a little lie and then just move on. Right? It's just boom, there it is. Or
it's pretty funny because I'm an early riser, so I get up and I'll watch some stuff and I'll watch a couple of news feeds.
Sure.
And then, Pat gets up later on and I'm going, blah, 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 and she's like,
yeah, I bet.
She's like, I don't care. Stop talking. I don't care.
Nice.
I don't care that Russia's invading Ukraine. It's not going to affect me in Ecuador.
Not yet.
Speaking of Ecuador, Dr. Fauci, the biggest liar and clown buffoon of the 20th century.
Wow, a lot of adjectives there.
Yeah, because he's an idiot. Was praising. He was praising Ecuador for the way they handle COVID.
Cool.
They've got an 88 or 89% vaccination rate.
Right.
So they've got almost 90% of the country vaccinated.
That's kind of interesting.
And even like another 82% second shot.
Wow.
in the country. Yeah, the numbers are just astronomical. And then they just got another 100,000 doses from Spain or something, donated to them or something.
Good Lord.
Yeah, we went into I went into the mall the other day, and they are checking your vaccination card, and they're wanding you for weapons. And used to, there was one young kid at the mall door, the main door, and people were just going by, and he's like, trying to check everybody. Well, now, I don't know what you call those things, like at a movie theater where you walk in between them. They're dividers, the aisle dividers.
Yeah.
Now they've got those out there where you're funneled into one person at a time.
Mm-hmm.
One person at a time.
Wonderful.
So yeah, Miguel or Jose is there, and he's only got to do one person at a time, and there ain't no people slipping by or climbing over the rope or any of that kind of stuff. It's like one person at a time to get in the mall, and they're serious about that stuff. But I can't wait till this weekend is Carnival.
Yeah, Carnival. That's it.
Yeah, and it runs 4 days. It runs Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So it's going to run from February into March. Yeah, and they said it's going to be out of control.
I have no doubt.
This city will be out of control. The rock and roll band that has the Canadians and the Americans in it is playing. Playas Rocks is the name of the band.
Yeah, there we go.
They're playing at La Praia, which is a restaurant, bar, nightclub kind of place.
Word?
They're gonna be doing a gig there on like Monday night. I don't know if it's Sunday or Monday.
I got you.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting. But they've done a really good job here. But they're opening stuff back up. They're opening a lot of stuff back up. And you'll see. It was funny because I was watching the TV the other day, and Peppermint Patty was on there holding a news conference in the White House, and Peter Doocy was on there. Well, nobody from Fox News, nobody none of the reporters had a mask on.
Yeah.
Just last week they were all masked up.
Mm-hmm.
So then this week there's no mask. And you'll see the administration start rolling shit back and trying to make themselves look good.
Right.
Before the midterm elections, because they're going to take a bath. Yeah, because there's like 18 or 19 Democratic senators and congressmen that are not going to seek re-election.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yeah. So off the bat.
Is that just because of age or disinterest or they made their money and run?
All the above. Yes. Okay. And they don't want to fight. They go, what do they get done every day? What do they do every day? What does Congress do every day?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
Yes. I don't see them doing anything. They're not passing any laws. They're not doing it. You still got open border down south. Nobody's doing anything about that. They've called for the Department of Homeland Security. They've called for Mayorkas to resign because he hasn't done his job.
Who's they?
With the Border Patrol. The Border Patrol and the ICE agents and the people trying to control the southern border. They still don't have a border. They don't have a border, and they ain't finished the wall. So pouring in. They're pouring in. They've had 2 million in fiscal year 2021. They've had 2 million encounters. Face-to-face encounters with people coming across the border. 2 million.
How do they get these numbers?
That's not counting all of them because they logged those. They logged those face-to-face where they tried to. I don't know what they do with them. Well, they're dropping them off in the middle of the night. Several different states and stuff. Yeah, that's what they're doing with them. But they've got. Then they talk about the getaways. Those are people that they never encounter, that just come across and they never even encounter them, and they've gotten away. And they're somewhere in the United States. Somewhere. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous.
Okay. If it is ridiculous, what do we do about it?
You shut the border down.
How do you do that?
The wall that Trump was building All the materials are paid for.
Have you seen that wall?
They're just laying out there in Texas or Arizona, wherever they are.
Mm-hmm.
All the materials to finish the wall are laying out there, just rusting. I guess if they're metal, they're rusting out there in the sunshine. When they could finish the wall, and you wouldn't have people just crossing the Rio Grande and just coming right into people's backyards in Texas and New Mexico and Arizona. That's how you fix it. You shut that shit down, man. It's out of control. It's out of control.
Maybe it is. Let me ask you this. Do you not feel for those folks who are having to cross said border?
No. Stay in your own country. We don't need you. Oh, wait. That's what they told me when I came here. Stay in your own country. We don't need you.
And did you
actually need the economic influx that the expats bring to this country.
And are you saying we don't need...
huge... No, because they're not bringing any money. They don't have anything.
They're bringing labor and their love. And their traditions and their culture and all that.
Okay, we'll have to agree to disagree on that one. But the difference.
Okay,
there's
okay.
a difference between there's a difference between a real leader and a president.
Okay,
and great
fair.
people.
That's fair.
Great people deserve great leaders, and we're great people, and the USA is a great nation, and we don't have any great leaders.
Okay,
we don't.
Well.
Did you see where they're making fun of Mitt Romney for saying in 2012 that Russia was the biggest threat?
No, I haven't.
To the United States?
No, I haven't seen that in particular. But my thought immediately goes to, of course, this is the self-deprecation that I deal with on a constant basis, even as I speak. When you say that we are great people, us as Americans, that's... well, I would say citizens of the United States, because if you say Americans, that means North, South, yada, yada. And some people don't want to be associated with us. That's for damn sure. So it's something where...
Not in Canada.
Well, you know. But it is... It is interesting that you say that, because it seems to go towards the mentality of... we deserve more than what we might inherently actually do deserve. Something that, you used to say all the time via Dave Ramsey was, when someone would ask you, hey, how are you doing? It would always be, I'm better than I deserve. And it was something now where it seems like that's been turned a little bit to now it's like, no, I do deserve more, or I do deserve the best, or I do deserve that. And that kind of thing is very interesting to me to look at and to see in real time, because we've changed as people. So.
Yes, we have, and you've been down here.
No, yeah,
coming down here is to see how wasteful Americans are. Oh my gosh, how wasteful Americans are. We got up from a restaurant and walked outside, and there were people that walked inside and went over to our table and started bagging up the food that was left on the table because they didn't have anything to eat.
Okay.
I mean, it's all glass across the front of the restaurant. We were eating at a table that was, because it's like a show. The whole city's like a show. And we were sitting there, and they started bagging up and boxing the food that we didn't take with us. And then they walked out the door with what was left. And I was thinking, man, really? And America's so wasteful.
Well,
golly,
I was going to say,
wasteful.
You didn't say the same about the guy who walked up to us in Nashville when we were sitting there about to go on the proverbial party bus, feeling bad for that dude or asking for food and whatnot. So are you saying that we're wasteful because you all didn't finish your meal?
Probably. Probably, because they give you enough for 3 people.
Well, I mean, and it's something that that's something that we have to learn, right? Like if you all are eating Chinese food, now order one dish because it is literally like a foot and a half wide in terms of the diameter or the radius or whatever, and it's a lot of food. So they do give you quite a bit and whatnot. And then when you go out to eat with people, not you specifically, but just people in general go out to eat, well, they want to act like it's an all-you-can-eat buffet. Or one thing that was super fun, talking about people being wasteful, not that we ate every bite, but my buddies and I went out to a lovely Thai restaurant, and I ordered an app for everybody. And then my buddy orders an app for the entire table. Like we almost just kept going around the table ordering and ordering and ordering. So we were just trying to have a little proverbial pissing contest there. But it's something where, do I think we are wasteful? 1,000%. It is something where I think part of it comes from the fact that the level of convenience is so high, right? Because looking at things where you can just kind of have it, just boom, you got it right there. Instant gratification, something that we've talked about at work and talked about on this show a little bit, where things are just like now, buy, more. And we're being conditioned to be that way. And it's tough, like, because every way you look, if you are plugged in to a degree, that's what's happening. I mean,
somebody's screaming at you to buy something.
Right. Buy.
Yeah.
Me, now.
You know how when you buy a bag of chips, you only get a half a bag.
That's because of the air is to make sure the chips don't go stale and chips are not crushed.
Well, down here, a bag of chips is 50 cents.
Perfect.
So you don't mind getting a half a bag.
Right.
It's only 50 cents. It ain't like $1.89.
You don't get no chips.
Yeah, you're not getting any chips but you open it up, bag of Ruffles, and it's half full. Well, you only paid 50 cents for the bag, so
the flavors are indeed different down there, which I think I find interesting. Where, for one, there's no Cool Ranch Doritos down there, so sorry, Ecuador, we can't be friends.
Right.
But yeah, like everything's nacho cheese, and I'm thinking, okay, fine, whatever.
It's not your cheese.
Yeah, amen to that.
yeah.
It's Cho's cheese.
That's right.
Mitch's wife or whatever.
Talk about the and down here, Mountain Dew is $1.65 a can, I think, for a 12-ounce can.
Jeez.
Yeah, and but that's like Mick Ultra beer.
Mm-hmm.
I sent you that picture. 6-pack of Mick Ultra was $12. It was $11.99 for Mick Ultra. Now, I mean, I don't drink it.
Yeah.
But that's to get some imports. Mm-hmm. You're going to pay more for them.
Well, but that's like up here. I mean, prices are just going up.
That's why I brought up Mountain Dew.
Yeah, because the hard dew, man, I can't wait to try a little bit of that. So I'll see if I can get a picture of that, a photo of the hard Mountain Dew, because I'm a hard ass.
That's the Blast, the Mountain Dew or Arctic Blast or whatever it is, Bahama Blast.
Blast.
Okay, whatever you say. Are they going to sell that at Taco Bell?
I have seen at a Taco Bell they served beer, but that was down in Texas.
Okay.
And
that's why I was asking, because I wanted to know in Tennessee if they were going to get a liquor license to be able to serve the hard.
Could be.
The hard dew.
Speaking of liquor and Taco Bell, one of my favorite Daniel Tosh bits is when people getting high and whatnot, and then going to order at like 2 a.m. Taco Bell. He said they should just arrest you when you drive up to place the order, because they know there's no such thing as a gordita wrapped inside a gordita wrapped inside yet another gordita. Too funny. But it's something where I could definitely see people going into Taco Bell not being inebriated and full when they go in, but by the time they leave, they are ready to go. So
they put that sombrero on and they go.
Boop. Oh yeah, that would be fantastic, man. I would.
Oh my gosh,
I would love it. I had a former coworker who speaking of Taco Bell, I had a former coworker who would say, yeah, they put so much antibiotics into the meat, like the grounded up meat that's in the taco meat there, because she was going to be a pharmacist, and this was one of her fun facts. It said, like, yeah, if you were feeling ill, well, just go eat some Taco Bell. And I thought to myself,
really?
What?
Wow.
Yeah, just because they put so many like antibiotic kind of things inside of those cows that just live in squalor. We won't even get into that today because there's not nearly enough time. But yeah, just absolutely crazy out there for sure. But yeah, hard do. Can't wait to see what that is coming at you. And of course, remember, Mountain Dew is the original whiskey mix. So y'all be mindful out there when you're mixing your whiskey with Coke and whatnot. From my understanding, Mountain Dew was actually made literally as a mixer to shine or whiskey and whatnot because people didn't want to go too hard. Well, if they only knew nowadays. So
right.
Faux show. Something from Duncan Trussell. I'll try to include a picture of this. I sent this to you, so hopefully people think it's kind of interesting. Some poor phoneless fool is probably sitting next to a waterfall somewhere, totally unaware of how angry and scared he's supposed to be. One of those things talking about being plugged in and the message and whatnot. Right. That, to me, just spoke out, and I was like, oh, that's the smartest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because it's something where... and much to your credit, not taking your phone places, albeit I think it's still insane, is something where you just aren't as bothered by that sort of stuff because it's not constantly in your face, right? You can take it in small spurts and in small bites and whatnot and try to digest it a little bit better. But it's something where nowadays, I mean, it is... Talk about Pavlov, right? People getting folks trained to do things. It's absolutely wild. Like I'll be looking at something at an app and then put my phone down and then 30 seconds later pick the phone back up and look at the same app. Right? Like it's ingrained into us. It's almost scary about how trained they have us. And speaking of kind of like being plugged in and getting info and stuff, like we also talked about earlier this week, I thought that Trudeau had resigned because that was a headline somewhere. But of course, it was only part of something, and it said Justin Trudeau resigned in a perfect world or blah, 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 right? It was something where that most certainly was not the message, but it's what came across because if you're not paying attention, that's all you're looking at. You're just saying bang, 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 these tiny little one sentence, if that, headlines of things and then thinking, oh, well, that sucks, or that will change my mood for one way or the other. And then you go to the next thing and it's just wild.
Well, when you told me that that's the teaser that they use, because I used to always watch Fox and Friends. When I lived in the States, I always watched Fox and Friends in the mornings. Well, they have Fox and Friends on YouTube. Well, when you told me that's somebody that's filmed that off the TV and they're replaying it on YouTube, and I've seen a couple of times where it's like, check out this film. You know, we've got Ace Frehley down here at the border, and he's coming to us live. And they throw up a picture of Trump or something in front of the filming of the people at the border and stuff. And they've got a still picture. Ever since then, I don't watch it anymore. I don't even click on that stuff.
Makes sense.
But I tell you, I was watching a news feed the other day about the DC trucker convoy.
Yeah.
And the husband and wife have a refrigerated truck.
Yeah. Okay.
And they were on their way to DC with supplies for the truck drivers.
Oh, wow.
You know, they up in Canada, they cut them off and said, you can't get any more diesel deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
And so they figured if they ran out of fuel or got low enough, they would leave.
Oh, sure.
Well, people started bringing in fuel in 5-gallon cans.
Wow.
to them. I mean, just people they didn't even know. They showed a line of like 100 people, and they all had gas cans.
Oh my!
So they're bringing in the diesel fuel for the truck drivers, and it's like they're giving Trudeau the big middle finger. And you know, and I listened to one a little while ago, and a guy is talking. He's one of the originators of the DC trucker convoy.
Yeah.
And he goes, we don't really want to block anything. We just want to get their attention. Well, if you don't block anything, you're not going to get their attention. You need to block off 395, which circles DC.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Well, you can't imagine, but if people can imagine.
No, I can't imagine.
Because you hadn't traveled I-95 a lot of times.
Okay.
Okay, that's the snowbirds. That's the as far to the east coast of an interstate as you can get, I-95.
Gotcha.
From like New York to Florida.
Yeah,
that's where it goes.
Yeah.
Oh, it stinks up. Or 81. So you travel 40, and then 81 splits off of 40. 40 goes to the Carolinas, and 81 goes up through Virginia. If they stop traffic on 81 or 95, it's going to be it's going to be so cool. Yeah. Because it's going to just jam up shit, man, for days if they'll just stop for a little while, just for a little while. They don't have to be there for a week or 2 weeks like they were in Canada, because those people are out of control, and you're going to freeze. I'm a truck driver. Now, these are the things that I've come across.
Yeah.
You're going to take my animal. Because I'm protesting, you're going to take my animal out of my truck and euthanize my animal because I'm protesting? You get shot. You'd be shot. That's one of the things they threatened to do, was to take drivers' animals.
Well, hold up.
You're going to arrest me and then tow in my rig? You're going to arrest me and then tow my rig in? No.
So,
no.
For one, you said threaten. I don't recall, or I didn't hear you say they actually did that.
I don't know if they did. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if they did or not.
Right.
The first little dog or cat that they probably came up and stepped on somebody's on the landing and stuck their face in there, they probably got a gun put in their face.
Well, remember,
and, you're not going to take my animal.
Yeah, but
supposedly
you can't have whole lot of guns up in Canada, right? So
I don't know.
Well,
you're not supposed to have a firearm in a commercial vehicle in the country of the United States either.
Right.
But you better bet it's happening.
Okay. Well,
yeah. I carried 2 guns.
Right, so you
one for each hand.
Yes, stick your arm out of both windows there.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. At that point, they're being unlawful, right? If they have the gun, so they can shoot the people who are going to take.
You taking my animal is unlawful, also, and freezing the bank accounts. You're freezing people's bank accounts that are protesters. I can't wait till they try to do that shit down here in the United States. Well, I can't wait.
People at work were talking about it already, saying that, I mean, not one way or the other, but they just kind of brought it up in general conversation, and it's going to be a freaking cluster, man. Like no matter what happens, it's just going to be ridiculous. So
they're in a truck by themselves with minimal contact. Leave them alone. Leave them alone. A year ago, they were heroes. Now they're zeros. Leave them alone and let them move the freight.
How quickly the tables can turn.
Oh, yes, they can.
I was like, yeah, you haven't drank enough out of that to go woo just yet. So
yeah, I can't get no toot out of that horn there. So.
Well, hey, you and I have enough toot for any horn. So that is most definitely it. Well, now that I got you nice and riled up, we're hitting.
I'm really riled up. Yeah,
getting all riled. Well, hey, we've almost hit the hour mark. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yes, there is one other thing I want to talk about.
All right, let's end it strong there.
Our water went out where we live. Here in Playas, Ecuador.
Aren't you right next to a beach? Why do you need water?
Yes, and you can't drink the water out of the faucet, and you really shouldn't even try to filter it. So we get the big bottle, the big 5-gallon jugs that people put change in and stuff.
Right,
We get 3 or 4 of those every 2 weeks. Well, the handyman, Bo's handyman, Bo came over because he speaks enough Spanish he could communicate with Javier. We started looking for the water meter.
The meter in the main and all that.
Yeah. Guess what? You ain't got a no water meter.
Heyo.
Yeah. So he follows the pipe and it goes under the 10-foot wall that's around the compound.
Right.
We go outside, he marks it on the wall at the top. We go around and he catches it coming out and he's digging. And I guess it connects under the road to the main. But there's no meter. So this guy's been stealing water, and Pat's like, well, he's paying the water bill. I said, there ain't no water bill. There's no meter for this guy to read to get a water bill. So that's why he offers to pay the water bill.
Hey,
he's probably been stealing water from the city, Apply Us, for 10 years or more, and he probably gave somebody some money when they built it and said, hey man, maybe. Connect me up here with this pipe, and
there you go.
Because we couldn't find the meter anywhere, and it's like we didn't have any water. We didn't have any water, Jay, for 5 days. 5 days.
Oh, what an experience that must be.
It's pretty crappy. So. Yeah, no, that's all I have to say about that.
That's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, and so we tried to contact him, and this guy's a world traveler. Well, he was out of the country, and he wasn't answering emails and stuff. And I said, well, we'll just call the water company. No. Don't do that.
Why not?
I'll send somebody over there to fix it. Yeah, finally, when he answered the email.
Oh, okay.
Well, he said, no, I'll send somebody over there to look into it and try to fix it. Okay,
yeah, but it's something where why not let the water company know that something wrong's happening?
I know. Pat got so mad she wanted to move. She said, that's a lease. That's a breakable offense in the lease.
Oh, yes, indeed.
And then so I started to inquire about leases, and unless your lease is notarized, it's no good.
There you go.
And unless your lease is 2 years, it's not any good. You can leave anytime.
Well, you certainly got very read up and educated on that. Once you figured that out.
They're not stupid, because when you move in, they want first month, last month, and a month deposit.
Right.
So when you leave, and if you don't pay the last month, they've already got money for that. Yeah. And then they've got another month, so they don't give a damn. So she was all jacked up. Couldn't do any laundry.
Sure.
Couldn't wash the dishes. I was filling up a mop bucket from the garden hose, which runs off of a well with a pump.
Wow.
On the other side of the yard that they water the flowers with, and stuff was floating in that water. You don't ever want to do that. I was filling up a mop bucket and bringing it inside to fill up the tank on the toilet so we could use the bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah. So you talk about taking things for granted. Shut your damn water off for 5 or 6 days and see how that works for you.
I live in America, so that would have been fixed within like 30 minutes.
Run out to the street and turn the water off, okay? Get one of the big get one of the big T handles and turn that thing. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
And see how on Discord that is. Uncomfortable. We're making you uncomfortable.
I think homeboy would be if I was out with if I was out of water for that amount of time. Your boy would definitely be going downtown to a hotel or something and be like, "Water, please."
Well, I told her, I said we need to check into a room across the street.
Yeah. Shower
that night, then the next morning get up, shower before checkout at 11.
Yeah,
and it's like $25 the fans, the friendly family rate next door. But I said we shouldn't have to do that. Oh man, both of us have been jacked up for about 4 or 5 days. It's been it's almost a drinkable event.
Yes, almost indeed.
Yeah, so it's almost time to start cracking the top on a beer. And so,
well, hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's for damn sure.
That's right. Carnival this weekend.
Carnival.
November the 8th, Tuesday, vote their ass out. So there you go.
That's what I need to do is find something on here at the end of each show and put a countdown timer to November 8th to let everybody know that's the time to get out there, make a change with your voice.
Get rid of them, man. They're crooks. They're liars and they're crooks.
Mm-hmm.
And you take somebody like McConnell, he's probably 85 or 90 years old and been doing that shit for years. Just like Trump. We don't need Trump in there. We don't need him. He's 77, 78. Sleepy Joe's like 81 or something.
Yeah, they
incredible, man. It's incredible. Wake the fuck up. Yeah. Wait, did I just say that?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, hey.
Okay.
We know you're fired up, but
you might have to cut me off. Beep.
Yeah, let me tell you, add little beeps in there. Well, that has definitely been an episode. Thank you all very much for watching the Life in General podcast here with Tom and Jay. We hope to see you in the next episode.
The Life in General podcast does not condone the smoking of marijuana, but it is not illegal in Ecuador.
Oh, well, okay then. That's definitely a way to send the folks off there. So we love you all. Thank you all so much to our subscribers for sticking around with us, and we will catch you all in the next episode.
See you.